This is the real and only reason why you're not at $100,000 a month right now with your dropshipping store, and why people that are considerably less intelligent, less experienced, less hardworking, and are much younger than you are getting far greater results every single time. And the quick answer is you are not yet the person who is deserving enough to have a business doing $100,000 a month. So what are the daily tasks, the mindset, and the habits you need to adopt in order to become that person that is deserving of such a great reward that 99.9% of people in the space will never achieve? A goal that sounds so mystifying, it sounds like climbing Mount Everest, that right now, where you're currently at, thinking that far ahead seems honestly pointless because you've only made a few sales. Or maybe you're at ground floor zero where you haven't even made a sale yet. So why would I think that far ahead, Ethan? I don't even know if that's physically possible. I don't know if that's meant for me. I have all of these limiting beliefs that right now are preventing me from even thinking that that is something that is achievable for me. And that's the first place to start. Because if you want to be popping bottles with models and drinking champagne like you're T-Pain, then you need to first believe that this can work for you. Because a lot of you have started dropshipping and you maybe have done it for a few weeks, maybe you've done it for a few months, and you were inspired. You saw someone else, maybe a friend, maybe someone on the internet, who you thought really wasn't that impressive of a person. Just a regular average Joe that you thought, hey, if that person can do it, why can't I? And once you started to get into it, once you realize that it's not a get rich quick scheme, it requires you to learn a lot of different things, and you realize that you also can't treat it like a hobby and put an hour a day to get results. You've now gotten to the point where it almost seems impossible to actually make this even to a full-time gig. $10,000 a month. And I ask people all the time with my mentorship program, and I used to hop on sales calls. I no longer do that because I'm a business owner. I got trips to go on to. Just came back from Paris and London, got the new drip, already upgraded my character a little bit. Like a GTA 5 character out here. It's crazy. Ethan got new drip before GTA 6 was released. I know. And when I was on these sales calls with people, the first question I'd always ask to them is, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve by working with me in my program? And that answer told me everything that I needed to know. Because it told me whether or not they actually believed it was possible to get results, which is arguably the most important mindset thing that you need to have. Do you genuinely, in your heart of hearts, when you talk to yourself at night or talk to yourself in the mirror, believe that you can actually get results and be successful? Even when you most likely have had zero track record of business success in the past. And all the odds and all the people around you are saying, it's a waste of time. You're not going to make it. Go down the safe route. This is a scam. It's bullshit. Everyone that's making money is selling a course. No one's actually making money. With all that negativity, with all of people around you and your environment telling you shouldn't do this, do you still believe you can make it, and do you block out the noise? Because the reality is people aren't going to be ever supportive of you. Your family is not going to get it, even if you do make it. I know mine doesn't. They still think it's all bullshit anyways. But hey, the drip doesn't pay for itself. What can I say, honey? But the reality is you have to have this innate self-belief and self-confidence that it is possible, and you kind of have to be crazy. Because in order to believe you are worthy of such an immense amount of money, $100,000 a month, which is around $20 to $30,000 a month after COGS and everything, you kind of have to be delusional. The average person is never, ever going to make that much money in their entire life. So of course, when you say that's something I want to do, people are going to laugh at you. They're going to think you're crazy. This little internet thing, just typing on your computer, researching products, throwing stuff up, that's not a real business. Get a real job. And you have to, again, kind of be like a pitcher. See, when I was a pitcher in Little League, the other team will always try to distract you. They will do chants, they will bang on the fence, and they will try to get in your head and throw you off. And as a pitcher, one of the most valuable tools you can have is blocking out all the noise and just being able to lock in. Put in your time card at the locked in factory. And you do have to be the same way with entrepreneurship. You have to believe it's possible. And once you know that it's possible, think about what then happens when I get there. And a lot of you haven't even thought that far. So when I asked this question, just tracking back a little bit, I know I'm all over the place, ADD, I have every single 3-letter acronym known to man, especially autism, which is not a 3-letter acronym. But when I asked people, what do you want to achieve? Most people told me, I just want to learn skills, which is cool and all, but then I would ask, why do you want to learn the skills? Oh, because having this business would be fun. And I'd be like, why is it fun? Or why do you want to make 10 grand a month? A lot of people would say, I want to make 5 grand, 10 grand a month. And I said, okay, cool. Awesome. I'm glad you have a goal. Why do you want to hit that? And then they would look at me funny. They had no clue. They hadn't really thought about it. And I find it's easy to set goals, obviously. It takes 2 seconds. But then after you set that goal, it's kind of hard to actually imagine what it would be like to hit it, because deep down in your subconscious, you don't actually believe you can hit that goal. I could say I want to get a 6-pack and do all this stuff, but if I don't really believe in it, then I'm not going to take the right actions. So what I saw is that when someone said, I want to make 10 grand a month, and they didn't actually imagine then what life would be like once they hit 10 grand a month, that told me everything I needed to know, where they don't actually genuinely believe they can hit that goal. Because if you haven't already thought about it, if you haven't even thought about what's the next goal, okay, getting to 50 grand a month, what you're going to do once you get that money, all of that, if you haven't even thought ahead past 10 grand a month, then you never really thought you were going to hit there in the first place, because that's the end goal for you. That was it. That's the ceiling. That's the climbing Mount Everest. So the first thing you can do mindset wise, if you do want to hit 100 grand a month, is first realize that it is possible, and then have the confidence and know and speak it into existence that you are going to hit 100 grand a month. And once you get there, here's what's going to happen. You intentionally and purposefully take the actions to getting there. And then once you get there, you're not even surprised. This shouldn't come as a shock to you that you're successful, because you knew deep down you had planned it through meticulously, and you thoroughly put down a blueprint that was going to get you there in the first place. Of course you were going to hit there, and you already knew what was going to happen afterwards. Now, if you just throw out a goal and say, hey, I want to make $1 million, and then once you get there, then okay, what happens? What changes? What are you going to do with the money? How do you scale beyond that? I don't know. I don't really know. I'm Walt Jr. I don't know how to make money. You're not my dad. He's a bad guy. Why am I doing a Walt Jr. impression right now? I'm sorry. Pretty good impression though. Comment down below, Walt Jr., if you thought that was a good impression. I'll just give you one more sentence. If you're gonna buy me off, then buy me off. Pretty good, I know. It's amazing I'm not on SNL right now. So first think, okay, what is that dream goal for me? And then once I hit it, what actually happens? What changes in my life? And the reality is, if nothing actually changes, then you're not going to be motivated enough to actually do the goal. So you shouldn't be thinking small with your initial goal. It shouldn't be, oh, I want to hit $100 a day. Oh, I want to get to $1,000 a month. Because then what? Bro, it's 2024. What can you do with that amount of money? Zero, nada. You can pump my gas for that much. You really can't do much. So I would actually have a tangible goal that if you hit it, something fundamentally in your life can change, whether that's quitting your job, whether that means allowing yourself to go full all in, or dropping out of college, or paying off your mortgage, or just something that is actually meaningful to you. The money shouldn't be meaningful, but what you can do with the money should be. And that's the why that will start it all for you and actually put you down the right track. Because a lot of people have the why of, I just want to make 10 grand a month so that I can make money. I just want to make money. And those people never make it because that's not a powerful enough why. Because when things get hard and shit isn't working and you're throwing all your money and it's burning down the drain and you spent months on this and nothing's working, you're going to quit. Because your why was just making money and now I'm not making money and I put all this time. So therefore I'm out. So you can see how just through this initial step, before you even start your first store, before you even test your first product, if you aren't laser focused and clear on what your goal is, why it's important, and then what happens once you get there, you are setting yourself up for a road of failure. And the odds are you're not going to make it. And to make it even more tangible and think about the future, I would say, for me personally, I've had years where I would make over 100 grand a year, and then I'd have years where I'd lose over 100 grand a year. And I found that in the years where I was losing a lot of money, it was because I wasn't focusing on my future at all. I was just living day to day. I was in the present. I didn't really think long term. And that's when things started to crumble for me. But when I did think meticulously and I did have goals and I knew exactly what actions I needed to take month over month, quarter over quarter, then I realized that was when I made the most progress. So you have to envision, what is the person I have to become to deserve to hit 100 grand a month? What are those traits? What do I need to cut out from my life? What are the distractions that are holding me back? If I was imagining myself as a 100 grand a month entrepreneur, what would they be doing compared to what I'm doing right now? Do my actions align? Am I actually showing the actions that prove that I am someone deserving of that goal, that I am worthy, that I am actually do want it? Or am I just posing? Am I just a wantrepreneur? Which most of you watching this video are. There's no doubt about that. So I would say having a vision board is a great way to visually know what you're actually working for every single day. And I know right now, I have a vision board. I look at it every single day and it has certain goals for me. I know one of them was to go to a Chelsea game, which I just went to for the first ever time. It was amazing. Although Chelsea absolutely sucks and can't even beat a 10-man Burnley, and we're the laughing stock of the Premier League after spending over $1 billion. But hey, you got to support your team. I'm not a bandwagon. I'm Chelsea till I die. So I have that on my vision board, and I made that happen. I have other things, fitness goals, gym goals, goals for my business. It doesn't have to just be solely dropshipping, but you should have an accurate representation of what the goal looks like. And then once you hit that goal, what can you achieve? What can you actually do? Does that allow you to take vacations? Does it allow you to spend more time with your family, buy your dream home, buy your dream car? You should have something that you can look at every single day that is tangible and is going to make you disciplined and motivated enough to put in the work every single day. Because if you were just working for the sake of working and you just kind of in the back of your head have a goal, you're not going to put in the right work. You're just not. You're going to give up, or you're just going to half-ass it, which most people end up doing. Now, another pretty big reason why I see people failing is not setting realistic expectations. Now, this doesn't mean, okay, if you set a 100 grand a month goal, that means, okay, it's not realistic, therefore you're never going to hit it. No, you should have big, lofty goals and a North Star goal, and then also know what's going to happen once you get there. But you also need to realize the catch-22 is that this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, though. So yes, it is possible to hit 100 grand a month, but it might not be within the time frame that you think it's possible. You may think it's possible to get there in a month, and yes, it is. But at your current skill level, with your level of expertise, with your level of knowledge, and with the blueprint and information you currently have in the tools, is it actually possible? Most likely not. It's most likely going to take you at least a year to figure this out. Now, if you're doing it on your own, probably closer to 2 to 3 years. Now, if you have someone's blueprint and you have a good environment around you of people that are also going through the same journey, and you also have people that are further ahead that can teach you what you need to know and fill in those gaps and answer your questions and give you that accountability and support you're going to need, then I would say you can get results within a few months. It is definitely possible. And I have plenty of students that have gone to 3 grand a day, the 100 grand a month mark, already within the first couple of months. And it was because they just had that blueprint. They had a great support system, and they took the right actions every single day. And we taught them what they needed to do and who they needed to become as an entrepreneur to be deserving of that. When they got to that goal, nobody's surprised in my program when they get to 3 grand a day, because they put in the work and they knew exactly the philosophy and why they were doing what they were doing. Now, if you're just throwing stuff at the wall and you have no idea what you're doing and you're just hoping and praying and then magically something works and you get to $1,000 a day, yeah, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be surprised, because the reality was, even you deep down realized, yeah, that was all luck. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm really not deserving of that. And you're not supposed to feel that way. It's supposed to feel very meticulously planned out, and that, okay, now I'm here. I knew this was going to happen, so now this is what I need to do next. You're not just duct taping and throwing in a giant hodgepodge of different strategies into a stew, and then as you stir the stew together, you hope that it tastes good. No, you had a recipe. You already had the ingredients. You knew what you were going to do. So when the cake ends up tasting good, of course, because I already had the recipe. I had the blueprint. But a lot of you guys are trying to make a cake, and you're just grabbing every single ingredient you see in the store. You're grabbing this person's ingredient, that person's ingredient, and then you put it all together, and then ends up being a giant piece of dog shit. And you're like, ah, man, I don't know where I went wrong. Because all these ingredients individually sound great. But then when I try them out for myself and try to make this Frankenstein, it doesn't work out. And that's what a lot of you are doing right now, where you are listening to multiple different people and they have all these different strategies, and you're taking this person's Facebook strategy and you're taking my strategy for this and that person's strategy for that. It doesn't work together. And I believe a big reason why people do that in the first place is because you overvalue strategies and the importance of them. Because you believe there's an easy way out. And that also stems from the beginning part of what I mentioned, of your expectations on the time frame of getting results are totally out of whack. You think this is a get rich quick scheme where you can get results within a week or two, and that's not the case. But if you do broaden your time horizon and you focus on the right things, the skills that will actually make you deserving of making those sales, then the money will come to you. And trying to get back to the idea of the person you need to become, the person that is deserving of getting to $100,000 a month is not someone who blames strategies or thinks strategies are going to be the way out, or that, okay, I'm going to learn from Ethan because he has some brand new TikTok ad strategy or blueprint for making ads that once I implement that, that's going to be the thing. That's the thing I've been missing. Oh, the other way I did it was just never going to work. It was completely wrong. I'm just going to write it off. No, I was missing this thing. That is going to be what it takes to make me rich. And that's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Nobody's strategy is going to ever make you rich. It's only going to come from you having a great grasp on the fundamentals and the skills and putting in the consistent right daily actions into your business that reap results. But because a lot of you will try a strategy and it doesn't work out immediately, you say, all right, I need to do MRR. I need to do this black hat strategy. So there's something I'm missing. There's some magical golden pill out there. Oh, this guy, he's made $10 million and he's saying he's got this brand new XYZ scaling strategy. And if I pay him $1,000 a month, I'll learn it. And then that's going to be the thing. No, it's just going to be another regurgitated version of a strategy that you can find online. The strategy is not the thing you are missing. Get that through your thick skull right now. You are watching all these videos in the hopes that you're going to learn some brand new golden nugget thing that's going to be the missing link, and that's not the case. The missing link is not a strategy. What you are doing right now is most likely good enough to see some level of results, to get to $100,000 a month, because that's only $3,000 a day. That's not very difficult. The only thing that's actually missing is you executing that strategy at a high level. And the analogy I always love to give that was given to me by my first mentor, Dan Henry, was that 10% of results in business come from strategies and 90% comes from execution. And those who execute the best are always the one who make the most money. Because I could give 100 movie actors the same script, and the person that's going to get the part, my Leonardo DiCaprio, my golden lead actor, is always going to be the one who executed the script the best, even though everyone had the same blueprint. So you need to change from blaming strategies to taking actual accountability and realizing that it's you. You are the problem. You are lacking skills. You're not lacking knowledge, but you're lacking skills, and in most cases also lacking the consistent daily actions that you need to be taking in order to make 100 grand a month. Now, what are other things that you need to understand mindset wise, habit wise to get to that mark? Well, you need to focus on building a butterfly garden, which I know sounds gay, but let me elaborate. If you want to catch a butterfly, you don't try to chase it, because if you chase butterflies, all you're going to be doing is chasing and running. But if you build a beautiful butterfly garden that has all these trees and ponds and nature, then the butterflies will come to you. And it's the exact same way with dropshipping. If you want to make money in this game, then you don't go running after it. You don't go chasing money. You don't do these black hat BS strategies and mixing and matching all these strategies from all these different people and constantly hopping from one person, from one guru to the next. You focus on building the butterfly garden, which is developing your skills. And the reality is, it's boring. It's not a sexy answer. But if you can focus on those boring things, then you are going to get exciting results. If you focus on exciting things, you get the boring, tragic results. Bars. So what are those boring things? It is learning product research, website creation, ad creation, and media buying. Those are the only 4 things you ever need to master to get to 100 grand a month. And I would recommend learning from one person that preaches these skills and actually gives you the knowledge and information in the blueprint to learning those skills. And if you're learning from someone currently at the moment, and it doesn't have to be me, if it's someone else that isn't preaching those skills and is just constantly force feeding you new strategy, here's my brand new testing strategy, here's my brand new product research strategy, and they're just constantly giving you new strategies and you think that's value, you're going to be on an endless loop of constantly chasing, trying new thing, not getting good at anything and being stuck in the same place. You are running on a treadmill. You are a hamster. And the boring thing that's going to make other people a lot more money than you is when they just take the information they've got, realize that it's good enough, and all I have to do is just constantly practice and execute every single day, and then eventually through pattern recognition, I'm going to get good enough at this skill to be deserving enough to make money, of being deserving enough to get to my first $1,000 a day, then $3,000 a day, then 100 grand a month, then 200 grand a month. It's all down to skills. But you have to learn those skills and learn that blueprint, ideally from one person that you really trust. Now, it could be me. It could be someone else who's more handsome, jacked, funny, but good luck finding that, sweetheart. I mean, look at these biceps. I mean, you can't see. It's a very thick shirt. I can't lie. Also, I haven't gone to the gym in 2 weeks. I was in Paris and London. I had to find out I got to find out who's in Paris. I didn't know. And it turns out it was me. I found myself in Paris. I'm going on a lot of dates with black girls, so I'm going to refrain from continuing that joke. I actually have a date in an hour. Rate my fit. Give me a rate and a TBH. Imagine 6'3", 165 pounds of white chocolate walks up to you right now. And you're sitting in the car with me, and we just had a lovely steak dinner, which we're about to have. So we're sitting in the car. You're feeling me. And I play on The Weeknd, and we're in my BMW M4. And you're just staring outside. And I go up to you, I turn on The Weeknd, and then you start to look at me, and then I turn my head and say, so where were we, sweetheart? So do you want to make out with me now? Or, you know what? I have no riz. Oh, where was I going with that? I don't even know. Why are you trying to kiss me? Jesus, I'm supposed to be teaching you stuff. Got me distracted and everything. Got me hot and bothered, making me blush. What's my go-to line? Actually, I did this with a girl where, I played The Weeknd, and then I said something dumb. I did this essentially. So she was looking at me, and I went, "Man, you're looking real good tonight." And then I put my hand behind her ear and I just leaned in and I just kissed her. All right. I was like, where were we? And I just did it in the most cringy way possible. And she was laughing. And when you get her laughing and her eyes are closed, then she doesn't realize how ugly you are. And that's my superpower. Keep those eyes closed, especially when she finds out you're a dropshipper and then her coochie becomes drier than the Sahara Desert. Because if you ever say you're a dropshipper on a date, then good luck. You're fighting an uphill battle, my friend. Say entrepreneur. Actually, don't say entrepreneur. That also hurts. Say you are in construction. All right. So let's get back to everything. What are other things you need to do to actually become someone that's worthy $100,000 a month? So we talked about vision board. We talked about focusing on the skills. We talk about having realistic expectations, building the butterfly garden. I would say outside of that, and really getting into a more serious note, is sacrifice. You don't want it. 99% of you watching this video, you do not want it enough. You say you want it, but when you look at your actions and when you look at your lifestyle and when you look at what you do every single day, it screams you don't want it. Because if you did want it, then you wouldn't be dipping your toes into this game. You wouldn't be treating it like a hobby. You wouldn't be constantly just watching videos, watching another video, and not taking any action. If you really wanted it, you would realize that 1 hour of action equals about 10 hours of studying and watching these videos. If you took 5 hours of consistent action on the strategies you've already learned every single day, you will have far greater results after a month than someone who watches 100+ hours of dropshipping content every single month for the past year. You will be much further ahead of that person in a month than they are after a year. They'll be able to know more than you and have all the theory in the world, but if they're not executing on it, if they're not taking the action and applying it, it is worthless. And that is why so many people that are dumber than you, that don't know as much as you, are getting to $100,000 a month. Because they have finally realized that they have enough information and they just take action. Now, I'm not saying my students who got to $3,000 a day, although they are newer, are dumb by any means. But we created this environment where we told them speed is everything. Execution is everything. And when you put those two things together, you're unstoppable. In fact, Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, $90 billion business, said that when he evaluates entrepreneurs that he wants to invest in, the speed of decision-making and taking action outweighs everything else. It outweighs if you are someone who is more intelligent and can make better decisions. Because if you can make better decisions, but you can't actually execute on those decisions in a reasonable time frame, you're going to get blown out of the water by the person who will still try a lot of things, fail, and then figure it out. They will always beat you. So a lot of you guys are saying that you want it, but when you look at your actions, you tested one product this month. You tested one product in the last week. And there are people that want it more than you that are testing 3 products a week, 5 products a week, that are constantly improving their skills. When they go from their first product page a month ago to their product pages today, it is night and day different because they learned from the data that they got. They understood their KPIs and their numbers and saw that, okay, over the last 10 tests, I've consistently not had my website performing where it needs to be. Therefore, let me tweak my social proof. Let me tweak my urgency. Let me try new things out that are fundamental skills to see what finally is the right combination and blueprint and framework for me, that when I put the product in there, it just works. And you need to be able to focus on what is that environment? What is that bare minimum criteria that when I put in this level of effort into a product, that product can work and thrive. And for me, that's usually testing every product with 2 product pages and 12 ads. When I do that, that is the threshold for me. Now for you, because of efficiency sakes, it may take you a week to create 2 product pages and 12 ads for a product. And if that's the case, then you can't test with all of that. It just takes you far too long because you at least want to test 2 to 3 products a week. So for me, I can easily whip up 12 ads and 2 product pages because I've done it so many freaking times and I have so many templates and I already have a team in place. So I can test 3 to 4 products a week with all of that done. But maybe you're just yourself, and you need to take a little extra time with that. So in order to test 2 products a week, which means you have 3 days to test and prepare each product, that means you can only do 1 product page and then maybe 6 ads. But the further you get into this, the more volume of tests you have, the more you get comfortable with the process and the execution, then the more you can add on to it and then hit that threshold of quality and efficiency. Now, I don't say, and I don't really believe going above, honestly, 12 ads when you first test isn't something you have to do, because I do find that's a little bit overkill. And if you test in the way I do, it's proven. And that's why my students get results. And that's why I've gotten results, because it is a blueprint that when executed the right way, the only thing that can go wrong is just if you choose the wrong product. And that is the ultimate goal and bar of success with your skills. When everything else is already dialed in and you know it's going to work, and the only way it can fail is just, okay, the product wasn't the right one. Because everything else you know works. You can only isolate that being the wrong variable. But to get to that level takes a lot of skills, execution, and experience, and learning from the right people. But a lot of you are just half-assing your product tests. You're testing a product with 1 product page, terrible price, terrible, boring offer, just 3 ripped ads, and then you're hoping and praying that it works out. You have no rhyme or reason for what you're doing, and you're just being as lazy as humanly possible to throw up a test and then hope and pray to the gods that it somehow works, instead of knowing with confidence that what you are doing can work and will work. There's a difference. And that, again, stems back from what we said in the beginning of just having that belief that things are going to work, and that if you do things in the way that you were taught to from your mentor, that it is just inevitable that you're going to hit your goal. It is a matter of when, not if. So what are some of the sacrifices you have to make? Because that's different for everyone. For me personally, I had to get rid of video games. I gave my PS5 away to my best friend. I gave away other consoles to my other friends because I realized that was the thing that was holding me back tremendously. And I know you should have hobbies and all these other things, and I do. I golf, I play tennis, I smash girls on the weekend. I play Smash with them. Don't take that out of context. I'm a good Christian boy. I'm a virgin. I've actually never felt the touch of a woman in my entire life. It's kind of like when you read a fairy tale about unicorns and you imagine what it's like to have a unicorn. Same thing with me and actually even talking to women. I can just only imagine. I've only read about it in books. God, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. But the sacrifice is going to be different because you're going to have things in your life that if you really self-analyze your schedule and where you're putting your time, you're going to realize most of the things you're doing right now are not conducive to your ultimate goal of hitting 10 grand a month, 100 grand a month, whatever it is, and hitting that why that comes from hitting that goal. Because scrolling on social media, watching a lot of the videos you're currently watching on YouTube, I mean, my channel's great and it is helping you, but everybody else not helping you is just, again, delaying things. It's giving you this false sense of accomplishment watching these videos or doing all these other things that you know are not good for you, yet you're not willing to sacrifice them. And one of the most famous quotes ever is, if you don't sacrifice for your goals, then your goals become the sacrifice. So if you're not at where you want to be right now, ask yourself, would your 100 grand a month version of yourself be doing the same things you're currently doing? Would they be spending the amount of time that you're currently spending on social media, on video games, on whatever distractions and vices you currently have? Probably not. So really plan that out. Who do I need to become? Do I need to work out more? Do I need to prioritize my time better? Do I need to cut out certain friends that don't believe in me and are just wasting my time? Do I need to cut out family members? Do I need to cut out certain activities from my day that, again, do not align with my goal of being successful in business? That's a question that only you can answer. And I know for me, I had to do a dopamine detox. I had to get rid of my social media. I still only have it for business, but I honestly just don't like to check it. I just don't. I trained myself to hate it. And that's what it had to be. That's what it took. I had to delete my TikTok. I had to delete my Instagram. I did it for 4 or 5, 6 months. And it ended up making me realize wow, I didn't really miss much. Not a lot is happening. I was just living in my own world, and it was a lot of times very liberating. Because a lot of times when you delete social media, that is your one worry. Oh, I'm going to miss out. I'm going to be out of the loop, FOMO, blah, 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 blah. No, you're not missing anything. Your friends really aren't doing anything that important. Sorry to break the news to you. You should really only be using it for a tool for business. And that's why I have it personally. But even then, there's so many ways you can limit it, put restrictions. So again, audit your day and understand what are you currently doing that is not conducive to your results, to your goals. Now, other things you can do is realize that if you plan out your day the night before, you're going to set yourself apart from everyone else. So I do personally have a journal. It is on my bed right now, and I've showed it many times where every single hour of my day is meticulously planned out of what actions I'm going to be doing. Right now, I knew this is my filming video hour. I have hours that I'm going to be doing my meetings. I have hours where I'm going to be doing this, that. But basically, I prioritize what are the 3 most important things I have to do. And you want to ideally keep it to 3 things. When you have more than 3 things, that can be overwhelming. That can, again, give you that false sense of, oh, I'm doing stuff. I'm keeping myself busy. But does that mean you're productive? Probably not. So don't just throw a lot of stuff into your plate and think that's a lot of work. No, a lot of times just focusing on doing one thing today and just doing a lot of time, putting in 4, 5, 6 hours into that one thing is going to set you apart and get you so much dramatically better results than if you half-ass and spend 20 minutes doing 10 different things that all really don't get you anywhere near the same return on your time investment than if you focus on that one thing. Because you can spend 4 hours doing certain activities in dropshipping, and that will result in you making $1,000 back, compared to putting 10 hours in another activity in dropshipping that seems important, but that only adds maybe an extra $100 into your pocket. And it's up to you and to talk to the right people to understand where you can leverage your time the best. And what skill is the most crucial for you that you are lacking that is preventing you from getting to that 100 grand a month mark. And a lot of times it's hard to know unless you have someone that's helping you out and have that outside pair of eyes. Or just talk to other people. Network and ask for help, because you're not going to have all the answers because you've never done this before. So how can you know what to do when you've really never done it? It's nearly impossible, and it's why most people fail. So I know this video was all over the place. So if I was to summarize, if you want to make 100 grand a month, you need to sacrifice. You need to cut rid of the distractions. You need to meticulously plan out your day every single day for the next 100, 300, 500 days. You need to focus on the boring things, learning the skills, doing it over and over and over again. Learn the strategies first, get good at those strategies, and then once you have a firm grasp on those ideas and those concepts and you actually have executed on them and seen some results, then you can start throwing in sprinkles and wrinkles from other people. Because if you realize, oh, I'm at $1,000 a day, but what I seem to be lacking in is ad creation. All right, who's someone else outside of my main person that I can learn from that can give me another tidbit of advice and way of doing things that if I implement could help me amplify my results? And that's what I currently do. And that's what the great dropshippers are doing. But it all started from believing in one person, staying true to their blueprint and strategies, sticking to it through the hard times, focusing on those boring things, and realizing that if I focus on my skills and that being the mark of progress for me rather than how much money I'm making today, then a year from now, I will be making significantly more money than those whose benchmark of success and progress was solely tied to their sales numbers and revenue on Shopify.